Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world away, and we now got issue 3 of DAgostini's Build Your Own X-Wing. Okay, before we get started on this, I had an interesting conversation with DAgostini yesterday. Even though this is advertised on Model Space's site, this is actually a DAgostini build. So when you click on it through the Model Space site, it will take you to the DAgostini site, which is probably why we got the first two issues from Italy. These issues, 3 and 4, came from England. So, not quite sure what's going on there. It's all fun. Let's show you what we've got to do. Right, we're going to need some parts from the last issue, which is basically R2-D2's leg. And we're also going to need the laser cannon and the parts from that. And also the base of the cockpit there. We're going to need that, the metal base. So, if I go to the end, where we're going to be, putting a light inside the leg here. Putting that together, so we'll have 2 completed legs. That's basically that section. And then we're going to be putting the brackets here on the base of the cockpit. So we've got that. And then finally, we're just going to be encasing that lovely section that we did there. And then once it's sealed, you're never going to see it again. Just to make the base there of the laser cannon. So there looks to be a lot to do. But I guarantee I'm probably going to whiz through this because it's not too different from the trial. Looking at the pieces that we've got now, I don't think they're any different at all. But from the trial, I remember having problems with the little metal plates that are going to go into the bottom of R2-D2's foot. You'll see that when I actually get round to doing that. But let's get cracking. Okay, so we're going to need some parts here. I'm going to be taking out all the parts for the rest of R2-D2 here, which is just these bits here. Quite sure what that bit's for. We'll come to that in a second. I haven't got a clue. And then obviously we're going to need the parts from last time as well. We don't need this leg because obviously this leg was completed, so I can keep that to one side. And we are going to need the light from last time though, which has got the little metal blades at the bottom there, which are going to be going in the bottom of the R2. I'm just going to unravel that, and I can always tidy it back up when it's already in there. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the leg, looking just like that, with the little lug on the top there, because that's going to be the inside of it. And we're going to be passing the light just through the hole in the leg, just like so. Pretty simple so far, huh? And then what we're going to do is slide that light all the way down, wrapping the wire around that little lug there, because we're going to need to put these plates in. Now, these plates need to sit with the wire in the centre and the plates to the side, otherwise they're not going to sit properly. Now this bit is the easy bit, because once you've got one in, I say easy, fiddly, but it is easy. There we go. So it's going to look like that when it's in. We're going to do one to the other side there, and then when they're in, they should sit flush just like that, looking like that. Now the reason why I said about the wire tidy being completely good down here and these sitting perfectly is we need to attach this side of the leg over these lugs so that when these blades are in, they're not going to get chewed up, bent and all of that. They need to slot perfectly in that one. So the easiest way to do that is to line these bits up first. Make sure they go in the cavities fine. Which is really hard, I have to say. Just like that. Pull the wire, and then it should give you enough leeway to actually push the whole thing together. Now you know you've done it right because you'll have no gaps around the side there, and at the bottom those plates are going to be sitting absolutely perfectly just like that. There should be no gaps in there at all, because that's going to be sitting on like a contact, and when it's actually on the contact, that's what's going to light this bulb up. So you need to make sure that they're sitting absolutely perfectly. Then we need to put this little pivot point in. This pivot point goes above the bulb there, and then when we put it onto the leg, just like the other side, it's going to be sitting at a 12-6 sort of like orientation. So I'll get that pushed in and show you what that looks like. There we go. So that's going to be sitting, as you can see, with the lugs pointing from 12 to 6. Perfect. And basically, the only other thing left to do is the fuel cell, or the fuel power cell, into these 2 holes here. They're going to go in just like this. And then in the book I am aware that they put this bit in first. Just like last time, I've got a little tiny bit just to go in the end of the power cell there, just to fill that gap there, and that's going to go in just like this. So that looks just like that. And that is another completed leg. So we've got 2 completed legs ready for the body coming soon. We can put them to one side now because we need to bring over the cockpit base here, and we need it this way up with this ledge pointing upwards, and we've got loads of brackets for this. So let's get these all out and lined up. There we go. So I've laid these out exactly as they're going to need to be. We've got some screws, and the screw pack said X-Wing 01 or XW01 on them. When we lay these out, these individual pieces here have got like little lugs on one side here. You see that little bit there, the semicircle, isn't on the other side. We need to make sure that they're all pointing up. So if you have it that way, it will show you the correct orientation where these go. And then all it is a case of actually screwing these in. Now they screw in from underneath. The first 2 are going to go in these holes here. The second 2 is going to be going into these holes here, and then the last ones are going to be going into these 2 holes at the end there. So we just put them in quite simply like that, load up my screwdriver, and we'll get these put in. Now they only need 1 screw because the other hole on this is for the little lug to fit in, which lines it up. So we do the same on the other side here. And before I continue, you want to make sure that these are in really tight, so there should be no wobble in them at all. We're going to do the same with the others now. Look at that, I had them the wrong way round. It's the big ones at the front, the middle ones in the middle, and the medium-sized ones at the end. So we do the little ones now in the second one. See, Wayne? Goes to show you shouldn't just read the instructions, look at the pictures. So at least I got it right before I actually put the things in. So we'll put this one in here, make it nice and tight. There we go. And one the other side here. And finally, we've got the medium-sized ones, and they're just going to be going into here, just like that. So we get them 2 in as well. And by the look of it, DAgostino have gave us a spare screw, because I've got 1 spare at the moment. So I'll put that one in there. I bet you were all shouting at me when I had them lined up, weren't you? Saying, Wayne, you Wally, you got it in the wrong way. Well, I would have figured it out because there's nowhere else for these things to fit. So, here's the last screw. Nice and tight, and there we go. That's all the brackets in, nice and tight, of the cockpit base completed. Don't need that other screws, can put that to one side. So now we can put that to one side. And last but not least, we're just doing the laser cannon. I'm just going to get all the parts for the laser cannon that we need, because obviously this time it's gave us some extra parts here, which I'm just going to feed out of the tube here, which I'm going to just get out the box here. I've got a little piece here, I'm not quite sure what that is. It is worth noting in this issue, they gave us a screwdriver. So I don't know if I'm going to use that one, but it is handy having extra screwdrivers. I've already got one of these ones actually, so I'm wondering if that came with the trial. So interesting. So basically we need this part here, and this is the part that's got the lug holes in it, just like that. And we're going to be dropping this in this way round, so that the not the pointy ends, the gold end here is going to be facing the end of the cannon. So we're going to drop this into place. As you can see, we've got some lugs here and here, and they're just going to correspond with the holes inside here, just like that. Put that in, that will stop that rolling around. And then when we do that, it's going to enable us to line up this wire here, so that's just coming out the side. Perfect. As a matter of fact, that will probably stay in on its own, as you can see, which is pretty handy. And then we're just going to be putting the other side on. That's simply just going to be fitting over the top just like this. But before I push it down, I want to make sure that this wire is in the little alcove there. Once that's in, we've got an end to put on, and the end is this one here that's looking like this with the rivets around the centre, looking like that from the other side. And that's just going to be going into this hole at the back here. Now push it down as far as it will go, but it won't go very far. That's about as far as I can get it. It's not meant to go in all the way. Then we're going to be putting on the side tubes, and they're going to fit in these holes here, and there's the corresponding holes there. That looks just like that, so we'll get these in just like that. All of these are push to fit, because once they're in, they ain't coming out again. So we've got that now, looking just like that. Now this tiny little piece that we had at the start, I didn't know what it was for. It goes this way up, just into this cavity that we've got there. Underneath the, it's on top of the tubes that we just put in. So we can push that into place, looking just like that. Then we're going to be putting this last piece on, which goes on the end of the tubes. Now, if you look at this closely, you will see we've got 2 dots just at the top there. They've got to correspond with these 2 ports that are coming from the tube here. So when we push these on, that should be lining up. But to be honest with you, it can only go on one way anyway, because if you look at the holes, it's actually a semicircular pattern. But you want to make sure that they're lined up, and if they are, that should sort of click into place. So these tubes are not going to move now. And then the last thing we need to do is just actually take this long shaft section and just put it over the top like that. And that is the finished laser cannon, almost. Obviously the only thing we need now is it to light up, and I believe there's some N to go on there. And we're going to have to do this another 3 times, because obviously the X-Wing has got 4 laser cannons. Okay, what we got coming in the next issue? I have got the next issue here, but that video won't be out till next week. As you can see, we've got some more of the cockpit details here. And like I was just talking about there, we've got the end of the laser cannon. So we've got a test box as well, so we'll be able to test all the lights and see how they're going. So that's all good. I know a lot of you like to test the electrics as you go along. You don't want to be surprised at the end of the build when something doesn't work, but never good. Anyway, hope you like that video. Got a DeLorean video coming tomorrow, so I hope you can stay tuned to that. If you did like this video, remember to give it a like, and if you haven't subscribed already, please give me a tick on the subscribe box and ring that notification bell, and you're notified every video that comes out. Other than that, take care. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please remember to give it a like, and if you haven't done so already, please remember to subscribe. Take care.